What's up, people? I am back for my second video of the day. I'm gonna make a video about the importance of escapism. Really quick. Anyway, the importance of escapism. Escapism is one of those things where, to me, pop culture, just in general with pop culture, movies, video games, television, where you're sent to this world, whatever that world is. Like, for example, like with Jurassic Park, you're propped in this world where there's dinosaurs. There's an island made that was full of dinosaurs, and it showed you like what like filmmaking could be. And it is just me. Most of this video is going to be mainly movies, but you can like apply it to any other form of entertainment. You know, and escapism is important because, I mean, even during, like, for example, World War II, you know, you had movies that happened during those times, and because escapism is important because it helps people through whatever, you know, their life is. You know, like, I'll admit, if I'm going to go talk about me specifically, my life is great. So I'm not necessarily talking about myself, but I'm talking about for other people who, dude, there are people whose lives are, you know, bad for whatever reason. Either they, you know, they have a bad home life, they have a bad school life, or whatever. You know, and I hear a lot of stories of what helped them through a lot of that was, you know, good entertainment. Like, oh, you know, Star Wars, when Marvel and DC were good, or, you know, stuff like Terminator. That stuff helped them through that shit. Because they were in for like 2 hours a day, or 3 hours, depending on how long the movie is, or for TV, you know, 30 minutes to an hour. You're not thinking about that. And, you know, you get these frauds out there who try to say, you're saying you just want movies to be no dark themes, you want it to just be all happy and dandy. But it's like not what we're saying either. Because you can have like a serious story. And I think Watchmen, for example, there's a lot of like, you know, actual real life politicians in that story. Same with the X-Men. But you're still involved in a world where it's not just a mirror of our world. And unfortunately, what has happened is you get these creatives now who constantly talk about this world needs to represent the real world. And it's stupid. Even like to the point it's like it can be like a super fantasy story. And you're getting weirdos out there. Oh, you gotta make it like our world. I'm like, it's a fucking fantasy. How the fuck are you gonna make it like our world? And why do you want to do that? Why can't you just make a fantasy movie? You know, or if it's a sci-fi story, be a sci-fi story. You can have little like allegories. I mean, those exist, but God, make it still feel like it's its own thing and not just I'm watching a 2-hour lecture or I'm watching an hour lecture or whatever. It's so tiresome because, you know, there are people who have like bad lives. You know, I don't want to go there, but I guess I will. You know, there are kids who are abused. They're, you know, they have to make ends meet, or they have like, you know, people who have to work like 2 jobs or whatever just to get, like I mentioned, to make ends meet. And why don't they deserve like, you know, a movie, to be able to watch a movie that's not just preaching at them when they're already working hard as it is, or they're going through whatever hardship that it is, because God forbid we just want like 2 hours of entertainment to just feel like 2 hours of entertainment, man. And it seems like I'll admit, it's not as bad in video games, but definitely like in movies. Like I mentioned, you get these creators who just want to they feel like we gotta make these movies or TV shows like a mirror of our world, when it's so dumb. Because especially when it's like fantasy. You know, if you want to make a political drama or a political documentary or something, if that's what you want to do, But why do you have to feel like you gotta shove real world politics in people's lives? You really think that people will just watch the news? God forbid, for like I'm gonna keep mentioning this, 2 hours or however long the movie is, you just escape into a story that, that's immersive, you know, and not have to think about the real world. I mean, I brought this up earlier in the video. Wartime, during World War II, I'm mainly talking about that then, but even like really any war, but like any of the big wars, the later ones, you had escapism still, because you just for like 2 hours didn't have to think, oh, there's a war going on. And I think that's what, even though we're not really in a wartime now, I want that escapism, because escapism is important. It keeps us sane. I was thinking about this earlier, like, escapism keeps us sane. You got people who work hard all fucking day, want to come home and just either put on a movie, put on sports, put on music, and just escape. But a lot of the current shit, you can't do it because you gotta constantly, specifically politics, we gotta shove politics into every nook and cranny now, and it's gotten so fucking bad. Like, it's one, like, I expect politics in a political, like, for example, I was watching, like, I reviewed Gladiator. The only politics in that was the politics of Rome. But that's not what today's Gladiator it would look like. It would be like, we gotta put real world politics into it, and that's the type of shit that we wouldn't get as great of movies if every director back then did what a lot of these current writers are doing. None of the movies we love would even be the same. Gladiator would not be that immersive if it was, because it would just be shoved with actual politics into it. Same with stuff like, you're not because it also, I think it hinders your imagination when you don't let escapism happen, because when you do, you escape into a world that, like Star Wars, you're not going to get shit like Star Wars. You're not going to get shit like Jurassic Park or Star Trek or Terminator, any of these, The Matrix, any of these like big concept movies. You're not going to get if you take away escapism, and we got to shove real shit into it. You're not going to get those movies when you do that. So it's really disappointing. Sorry about that helicopter. But it's like, escapism is what I think really does kind of keep the world going. After the hardship of work, or even school for kids, like, like I mentioned, there are kids out there that, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say abuse. I'm just gonna keep it kind of general. But kids out there who get abused. I've heard many stories like that where, what did they escape to? Like, great comic stories, great movies and stuff. You're depriving of those, not just the kids, but a lot of these people. You're depriving them when you try to take that escapism away, because, what, you just want to shove your political narrative in it? For what? I look at it this way. If you wanted to talk politics, either make a movie that's just straight up political, but it all comes back to, we know that shit would not sell. But escapism is important, because the world, I don't think, would run right if escapism is truly gone. I don't think it's gone, but it's definitely waning, at least specifically in movies. Games are largely still doing really well, but like movies, and I'll even say television a little bit, it's just going, because everything has to be political now. It's so unfortunate, because at that point, why do I even watch movies or television if I'm just gonna watch the news? I'll just watch the news for that if I just want all the political talk. It's not, like, even as someone who, I do look into political stuff from time to time, I want away from that shit for a few hours. I bet you there's people out there who are probably super political in their life, are probably even like, they want some escapism. They want to just for like maybe a couple hours not have to think about that shit. And you're depriving those people of that when you constantly have to shove political stuff in there. And it's ironic because I think you're hurting people who even agree with you. Because contrary to popular belief, there's probably people who lean maybe a bit left that probably want escapism too for a few hours. But you deprive those people of that because that's what these, unfortunately, Hollywood, this is mainly for Hollywood, but it is also in the gaming thing a little bit too. But these people deprive them of that because they feel like we gotta shove political narratives and everything now. And it's sad. You take that away. And you gotta fuck up society. Because God forbid, I'm gonna keep it, this is the hammer that point home. People want just to escape for a couple hours into a world. Or into like a really well-made TV show. Even like a comedy or a sketch show. I've been rewatching Mad TV lately. Yeah, do they take jabs at like actual political people? But it still was an escapism in the sense. It was just funny humor. None of these comedy talk shows now are that. It's just all politics all the time now. And it's unfortunate, man. And I really want escapism back, like, all the way. Because, and granted, I was much younger, but when I was a kid, man, there was so much of it. Like, every time I was watching something back then, like, even rewatching a lot of old stuff now, you're fucking entrenched in that world. Whatever it is. Like, it can be like fucking Die Hard to, like, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, the first, really the first one, but I know I like the Matrix sequels, but they have the Matrix, stuff like that. Like, you're immersed in that. When there's new stuff out there that does make me feel like that a little bit, but a lot of shit out there is just, now we gotta shove politics into it that you can't even really make it escapism because it's just real life, even to the point that it can be like something set in a different time period, but we gotta make them even like just quote Trump or something because it's just sad. But yeah, escapism is important. I want it back, and I hope one day Hollywood can get back to that one day, but we don't know. I don't know, man. Just the way things are going, it's almost hard. But I would love for Hollywood to go back to like just pure escapism at some point, like it used to be. You could have your political movies here and there, but it was mainly escapism. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. Tomorrow, Tremors 3. That one's gonna be kind of like basically I'm going in blind on that one too. So I hope I enjoy it. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna cheers one more time and peace out. Other than that, guys, fuck Warner Brothers, fuck Disney, fuck LeBron, fuck Colin Kaepernick, fuck Seth Rogen, and fuck the Biden administration. And just want to say this one more time. Escapism is important, and I would love to have it back. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.